The inability to start on time and the inability for the bench to do anything. Raptors, while they're losing right now, still a minute 50 to go, but they're down by 12, 102-90 as of right now to the Houston Rockets. And this team did not start right, but that's not where they lost the game. I mean, look, they did, right? It was a huge, terrible first half. One of the worst first halves I've seen in a long time. First quarter, you actually don't play that terrible defense. 23-19 after one quarter of play. You only give 23 points to a team who was a very good offensive team. James Harden doesn't kill you early on. However, the offense is nowhere to be found. They turn the ball over a ton, and they only score 19. I got some stats for you guys. I actually wrote these down because I needed to say these. Houston scored a total of 23 points in the first quarter. 10 were off of turnovers. 5 of them were second chance points. You do the math. Mano-a-mano defense, 8 points. The rest were off of turnovers and not getting rebounds. Imagine if you took care of the basketball early on. I mean, it was ridiculous. You got to get out in the second quarter and play some hard basketball. The Raptors don't. They give up 32 in the second quarter, and they give up 18. They only score 18 in the second. You're minus 14 in the second quarter. Raptors minus 18 at the half. They only score, 37 or whatever it is at halftime? You're down 18 at the half. Raptors have 11 turnovers, leading to 23 points at the half. A horrendous first half of play for the Toronto Raptors. But usually in the second half, you see a totally different team. Third quarter starts, and Serge Ibaka gets the energy flowing on the defensive end, and it flows into the Raptors offense, and the Raptors crush the Rockets in the third quarter. 34-14, Serge Ibaka. I don't think it was all in the third quarter, but throughout the game, he had 5 blocks, at least 3 of them were in the third quarter. He gets the energy flowing. Siakam's great defense against James Harden was incredible. I mean, at one point, Harden's shooting 6 of 23. And you're +2 heading into the fourth. After a ridiculously terrible first half of being down 18 at halftime, you're +2 after 3 quarters of play. What a great job that is. Now you need the bench to actually do something in the fourth quarter. And then you'll get some mojo going the rest of the game. Then get the starters, they'll get something going. And then you'll come away with the victory. The bench was horrendous. Now you could say, well, the Raptors don't have Fred VanVleet. They haven't had him for a while now. Like when the Raptors didn't have Jonas Valanciunas. Look, that's a big difference. Having not a big man is a big problem. Jeremy Lin wasn't great. Powell wasn't great. OG Anunoby, they didn't really make a huge impact. Marc Gasol, look, as much as he wasn't terrible, the bench, listen to these numbers. Marc Gasol, -30. OG Anunoby, -30. Jeremy Lin, -22. McCaw, -15 in only 10 minutes of work. Norman Powell, -16 in 10 minutes of work. You look at the starters. Siakam +8. Leonard +7. Ibaka +18. Lowry -8, but he was out there trying to help the bench unit out at some points. Danny Green +16. The starting unit did their job. The bench was just terrible. They were terrible on the offense. They were even worse on the defense. And that 2-point lead that you had vanished. A 14-2 run to start the fourth quarter by the Rockets, and instantly they're up by double digits again, and we're like, what the heck just happened? And look, I love Nick Nurse, and I love the job he's done so far for the Raptors. But I gotta say one thing. I understand Marc Gasol only played 18 minutes. I get Serge Ibaka played 30. But you gotta realize Who got you that energy in the third quarter? Serge Ibaka. They're making that huge run. And Marc Gasol, look, I gotta say, as much as Marc Gasol has been an alright addition for this team, one play, and I watched, and I'm like, Gasol, what the heck you doing, bud? A shot goes up, rebounds loose. Gasol's just standing there. They end up getting the offensive rebound, kicking it to PJ Tucker in the corner, and he drains a three, giving him a 14-point lead. And Nick Nurse waits to the 6-minute mark left in the fourth quarter to finally make that move and bring in Serge, but it's too little too late. You're down by 14. And Harden's already got fire cooking again because Siakam's the one that shut him down the entire third quarter. Siakam doesn't see him in the fourth. I don't know. The bench was terrible, and I look, if you guys watch these videos like on a regular basis, you'll know I don't like to rip on Nick Nurse. One, because it's his first year as a head coach, and I want to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit. But tonight, you can't do that. I mean, Ibaka had a double-double, 10 points, 15 rebounds on 4 of 7 shooting. He had 5 blocks, and he was a plus 18 on the floor. Marc Gasol, 8 points, 1 rebound on 3 of 5 shooting. Not bad, but he's a minus 30 on the floor. Why is he playing that many minutes in the crunch time when Ibaka was dynamite in the third? And you know late in the game, James Harden's going to drive to the basket and get the calls. You know that's going to happen. So when you go down 14 with 6 minutes left, it's going to be difficult to come back. And the final score, what was it? 12, 107-95. You give up 38. Look, in the third quarter, you give up a total of 14 points. You play great defense. You shut them down. Fourth quarter, you give up 38. I don't know what to say. The inability to start on time was a problem, yes. But that kind of gets washed away a little bit because going into the fourth, you have a 2-point lead. I don't know. The team overall shoots what? 42% from the field and 29% from 3. That's not good enough. Yeah, they're up by 2. But those numbers do not cut it. 75% from the line. Not what we're used to seeing from the Raptors. Maybe a little bit better. And actually, in the offensive rebounds, the Raptors did clean that up in the second half, more or less the third quarter. Raptors out-rebounded the Houston Rockets 46-43, and on the offensive glass, 15-9. Turnovers, total of 13 in the game. Look, we talked about it earlier in the video. The Raptors had 11 turnovers in the first half. They had nothing in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, though, you get 2 early on, and you're like, well, that's a problem. You can't give a team like this not only extra opportunities, because the second chance points killed the Raptors in the game. Actually, it says 19-8 were the second chance points in the game, excuse me. But you can't let a team like that get extra opportunities for free. The turnovers was a problem. Early on, the second chance points were an issue. The fact that you were down 18 at the half cannot happen against a team like the Houston Rockets when they have a guy like James Harden. Did the Raptors do a pretty damn good job against Harden? Yes. He ended with 35. Honestly, that number means squat to me because he shot 12 of 30, which is only 40%. That's terrible. He only had 1 rebound and 3 assists as well. He was 3 of 9 from 3. Nothing too out of the water except for the big 35-point mark. But he was averaging 50 in his last 2 games. So 35 is pretty damn good if you ask me. You hold Chris Paul to 5 points on 1 of 10 shooting. But your bench allowed Austin Rivers to knock down 13 on 5 of 8 shooting. Gerald Green knocked down 18 on 5 of 8 shooting. The bench was giving up too many wide open looks from 3 to those 2 guys. Not a good game by the Raptors. Great third quarter, but that's it. That's it. Anybody have any good games? Kawhi Leonard had 26 on 10 to 22 shooting. Siakam had a double-double, 17 and 10. I thought he was good tonight. Ibaka was good. Danny Green had 14 in the game, but he shot 4 of 12. Lowry didn't shoot the ball well. He was grindy, but he didn't shoot the ball very well at all. Not many people did. That's about it. Not a very good game by the Raptors. You didn't start on time. You didn't close on time. You had a good third quarter, but that's all. Look, we talk about it when we beat teams in the fourth quarter. It's not the biggest punch. It's when you make that punch. The Raptors made their big run in the third quarter, but the Rockets made that last big punch in the fourth when they needed to. And the Raptors did not. Back-to-back losses for the Toronto Raptors as they lost to Detroit on Sunday and tonight against the Houston Rockets. And in both games, offensively, the Raptors have not been very good. They got to smarten up. Their next game is against New Orleans, down in New Orleans, taking on the Pelicans. I think they're on a little bit of a road trip now. New Orleans, then in Miami, then in Cleveland. And then you come home to take on LeBron and the Lakers. So you have a 3-game road trip. And look, if you're looking at records and you're looking at standings, these 3 games are winnable and you should get all 3 victories. The New Orleans Pelicans are 30-36. Yeah, they've won 3 straight games, but they're not a very good team. Other than Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday, and guys that in the meeting in Toronto, they got hot. Antoine Moore got hot. You can't let that happen. Miami, they've been terrible lately. They've won their last 2, actually, but they're still 5 games under 500. A team you got to beat. Cleveland, we all know what they're all about. Horrendous. All 3 teams you're facing in the next 3 games are under 500. I understand you want to beat playoff teams. You didn't tonight. Was it a bad game? Yeah. But in the end, and I'm going to say it again, and I can say it after every tough loss, it's 1 out of 82. And the playoffs is what really matters. And you have 3 games coming up on the road. In New Orleans, in Miami, in Cleveland. I don't care who we play. I don't care about LeBron coming to Toronto whenever after the Cleveland game. I do not care. You look towards those 3 games right away, all right? And the first game is against the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday night. It's an 8 o'clock tip-off down there in New Orleans, all right, as the Raptors look to end this mini 2-game losing streak and get back into the win column on Friday, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoy this video, and you guys did not enjoy the game except for the third quarter. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you think of the game. What do you think of the Raptors' performance overall? What do you think of Nick Nurse's decisions there in this game today? I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on his coaching decisions in tonight's ball game. Also, the team's play overall over the last couple. Do you think they need to adjust things? What are your guys' thoughts towards this Raptor team moving forward? And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition. It'll be Thursday afternoon. Link is in the description for the podcast channel, guys, and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up. Send me a DM. Do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys Leafs edition as they take on the Vancouver Canucks in Vancouver tomorrow night. It's a 9 o'clock puck drop there in BC as the Leafs look to continue on their nice little roll. I think this is what they're looking for, their 3rd straight victory. Big win against Calgary there last night. You look to continue that momentum on your West Coast Canada road trip. All right, in game 2 of that 3-game trip, I guess, in Vancouver tomorrow night. And as for the Raptors, guys, like we said, their next game is in New Orleans as they take on the Pelicans. 2 days off for the Raptors. They take on the Pelicans on Friday night. All right, as the Raptors look to get back into the win column, make their shots, win a solid all-around game, play 48 minutes. I know that's the cliche everyone hears from coaches and players and all that, but it's the darn truth. We want to see that. We don't want to see 12 minutes like we did today. All right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.